So coming up here is the some of my favorite music, archival, new music, reissues for 2021. I'm working on the video with me and Dave digging in Rochester that is coming, and I'm also working on my favorite vinyl finds or new vinyl, new you know what I mean, new vinyl in my life, or vinyl finds for 2021. I'm going to do a video on that too. That's all coming up and will be happening once the calendar turns January. But right now, I did this video like a week or two ago, so just want to introduce for a minute. My link below is to the Angry Mom newsletter, which shows my entire list of favorite new music and favorite archival / reissue records for 2021. Linked below. All right, let's get on with it. Yo, what's up? Dom here. I wanted to get another video done about some of my favorite records. Some of the most, I think, overlooked records, at least when it comes to me, for new music, some archival records, and then two different series I want to highlight as some of the best stuff going on in 2021 that I haven't really discussed. Thanks for everyone for enjoying, I think, and tuning into the Psychedelic 100 Countdown, my list of my favorite psychedelia. I wanted to get this in too. I wanted to, sort of vary the videos a bit. Let me start here and get into it right now with my favorite overlooked records, maybe ones you haven't heard about this year. I'm going to start with some post-punk. Girls in Synthesis. This is called Now Here's an Echo from Your Future, a noisy sort of post-punk record that actually came out in 2020 in the UK, but was issued here in 2021. This is on the Harbinger Sound label. As I said, a post-punk record. They're just really getting going. This is only their first record. I think they have two now. A little on the harsher side of post-punk. There's a lot of that going on right now in London, and this is where they're from. But this is fantastic. This label, Harbinger Sound, you should be checking out. Fantastic. Girls in Synthesis. I'm going to go through these a little on the quicker side. I'm not going to elaborate too much. This one I want to talk a lot about, but we'll see. Another post-punk group out of England. You've probably heard of this record, or maybe seen some people talk about it. I don't think I have. Shame, Drunk Tank Pink. Pink vinyl edition. This band kills. This similar to Girls in Synthesis. This band even better. Really gets things right with the throbbing sound. Vocalist sort of in the vein of what Idols is doing, but even better. The songs on this are just killer. This thing just like drives and pulsates the whole way through. This frontman, Charlie Steen, not Sheen. I can't say enough about this record. This has been one I've listened to a whole bunch this year. Just haven't really discussed it on this YouTube channel here of mine. So wanted to hear now. Shame, great record. Their second album. This one I did bring up, and I have to bring it up again. Natural Information Society with Evan Parker. Dissension, Out of Our Constructions is the total, Dissension on the Eremite label. I did bring this up in one of the new Vinyl in My Life series. Double LP, 4 parts, split up. It's one long piece, one of the most hypnotic, groovy, sort of rhythmic records I've heard this year. You have the Glimbri, Joshua Abrams, the man, harmonium and effects by Lisa Alvarado, drumming by Michael Patrick Avery, soprano sax is Evan Parker, bass clarinet Jason Stein. This one will get you. It'd be nice to listen to this like seamlessly without flipping it 4 times, but a really great cosmic sort of free and spiritual groove-centric record by Natural Information Society on the Eremite label. This is Fresco Shed by Sleeper and Snake, a duo lo-fi on the Upset the Rhythm label. Cello and clarinet with some very endearing and whimsical twee type lyrics. I'm not going to take it out of the sleeves. It's one of these crazy PVC sleeves, but I do dig this artwork. Sleeper and Sneak. Fresco Shed. I think I talked about this already. I talked about it being similar to Beat Happening, I think, in terms of its approach. I dig this kind of sort of indie, if you want to call it indie rock, but they're, I think, Australian, I believe. Fresco Shed. Sleeper and Sneak. Here's one I don't think I've talked about at all. Mess-esque. On the Drag City label. This is Mick Turner of the Dirty Three with the singer. I want to get her name. Mick Turner and singing in words, Helen Franzman. She's not someone that has been in much at all, but somehow he hooked up with Mick Turner of the Dirty Three, as I said. And they recorded this remotely. This was definitely a pandemic record. They still, maybe they have now, but as far as press time, they hadn't actually met. And this is just self-titled. What do we have? Sort of loose guitar, sort of rambling sounds with a very beautiful voice by Franzman, but it's not like a typical folk record or anything like that, or an indie record. It's just sort of very spectral, very hazy. But I like that it's sort of loose and sort of freewheeling a bit. It's not, it's slower sounding. This is like a low type vibe, early low. But just a beautiful album. Her voice is sort of pretty on the pretty side, a little hazy, Mess-esque on Drag City. You know it's going to be good.
Walking, running, and the way it's coming, I'll be at your door. Spinning, rising, comets are colliding, your mouth on my own.
Here's another one I have discussed that came out this year. Bill Orcutt and Chris Corsano, Made Out of Sound. Very bombastic duo. Recorded partly in San Francisco and here in Ithaca. Released on Bill Orcutt's Palaleia label. It's a free workout. These guys know how to improvise. They know how to play off each other. I think this is out of print, or maybe it's getting repressed. I'm not sure. Fantastic. If you know Bill Orcutt or Harry Pussy or anything Chris Corsano is doing or has done, this one is going to get you where you need to go. They don't get too intense, too crazy, too sort of wicked or anything like that. It stays somewhat earthbound, but they get nuts. They get hairy on this. They get hairy. Bill Orcutt, Chris Corsano, Made Out of Sound. All right, those are some overlooked new records for 2021. Here's some of my favorite, perhaps overlooked, maybe not, whatever, archival or reissue records of this year. This is what we're listening to. I know I had discussed this at one point. Maria Theresa Luciani, Situazioni del Terzo Mondo. Situation in the Third World. I know I brought this up on one record, but this is not the original cover. It was sort of has a library record type look to it. Very rare records. Italian from 1972. I loved it. I mean, this is right there with some of the more avant-garde composers. Roberto Muschi, of course, just startling, and as you're hearing, meditative, transfixing, just wonderful. This is a reissue on the Synedelic label. Music specially recorded for film, radio, and television. So yeah, sort of a library record for sure. From maybe documentary films. Just absolutely, I can't recommend this one enough. So that's what we're listening to and have been listening to. Here's a favorite artist of mine, Halu Murgia. I've collected all of his archival records. He first came to his classical instrument, the record that was reissued on Awesome Tapes from Africa. This is called Walias. Halu Murgia and the Walias Band. An absolutely wonderful record this summer. I played this a lot. Ethiopian. On the Awesome Tapes from Africa. Originally from 1975. This is sort of like recordings from them doing like hotel gigs, I think. It's instrumental and dreamy, rhythmic, jazzy, sort of has a jazzy feel to it. I can't say enough about this record and all of his records. This may be one of his best at all of the archival records that they've released or reissued. So really check this one out. Stream this one. Highly urge you. And the Walias band, Tazeta is actually the title, which I think means like heaven, I think, if I remember correctly. Another reissue, actually, this one, sort of a compilation. I showed this on Instagram. Mogwai EP times 3 of their EPs all compiled. They're sort of not their very earliest releases, but pretty early. This is them around the Young Team before they did Come On Die Young. It's a triple EP. You have the you have the 4 Satin EP from '97. You have the No Education Equals No Future, Fuck the Curfew, '98. In 1999, just self-titled EP with Stanley Kubrick and the Christmas song on it. These are all on colored vinyl, and so each EP is sort of presented in its standalone original sleeve. I'll try to show it. Well, it's going to take too long. Check this one out if you haven't. This is a Chemical Underground record, right? Yep. See if you can find that. If you are a Mogwai fan, you should be checking this out. They're all on colored editions. On vinyl for the first time since 1999. Here's one many of you may or may not know. I don't know. Bill Fox from 1998. Transit Byzantium. This came out and was reissued this year. First time on vinyl. It was only a CD, and I was a huge fan of this record. Singer-songwriter is white vinyl. Singer-songwriter out of Dayton. He was in the band The Mice. With influence guided by voices. Absolutely. But this is like a lo-fi 4-track record with some wonderful songwriting. Very summery, very George Harrison influence, I think. Really knew how to write songs and really knew how to write sort of sad but sort of introspective songs. Not like an Elliott Smith vibe, but like a more sort of rough around the edges with his voice. And just really sincere, really great lo-fi 4-track sound on this. Transit Byzantium. This is on the Scat label, right? Yep. Alright, 2 records on the Agire reissue label. These were originally cassettes. Randall McClellan. Now I have Volume 1 and Volume 3. Volume 2 came out first for whatever reason. Yellow and green. They're called The Healing Music of Rana. Volume 1 and 3. Exceptional recording by this new age maestro, recently rediscovered by his friend J.D. Emanuel and the band Son of Ra. From 1983, these records originally on cassette. I don't know why Volume 2 came first, and I don't have that, but yeah, if you like the New Age scene with the tape, in the early 80s, New Age tapes, you'll dig these records. Randall McClellan, I think I discussed this when I mentioned it first time, a split with the Opus 1 label with Shadabe. But yeah, Agire did these reissues this year. This would qualify as one of my favorite archival releases, Sunrise Liquidity from 1978. This is on the Strut Art Yard. This is the first edition crazy foil box. It's 45 RPM, and it presents it with the second of the early mix of this. This is a big one for people in Sun Ra. Certainly more of a jazz funk record. But still is Sun Ra. I mean, you have all the big names on here. Marshall Allen, John Gilmore, Eddie Gale, one of my favorites, is on here. Who else? Julian Presley, Danny Thompson, James Jackson, Michael Ray, Disco Kid on guitar. There's even guitar in here. Sun Ra playing the ARP, Fender Rhodes, Yamaha organ, all the organs. 1978 Philly Jazz, the original. This is an excellent record, and I really like the other version that you get on this. I think this is now being reissued with just the regular edition or regular record. It's hard to see here. You get a good mirror. but gotta mention this Sun Ra Liquidity. And that's just some of, I have other favorites of this ilk, but I've discussed them already, or I've sort of brought, they've been mentioned heavily. Now I want to bring up two campaigns, two sort of release campaigns that have been a steady stream of releases, and they've been coming hot and heavy, and these have been done in such an exceptional way. I feel like I need to mention them. Two different series. One is a label, and then one is an artist. I'll explain. The first one, I'm going to just show all of them. Why not? That's why my pile is so heavy. It is PJ Harvey. And if you've been paying attention, you've noticed that she's been reissuing all of her records, which were desperately in need of being reissued because of how rare they've gotten. Mostly a lot of UK pressings haven't been reissued at all. They've been heavily bootlegged. And, she's a pretty big artist in the 90s and even into the 2000s. So her records were needed to be repressed, and she took them on and took them on well. All exceptionally remastered. They sound fantastic on vinyl. Really great. And just about all of them, I think, have come with a separate standalone record of demos, as she did with the 4-track demos and what's the record that goes along with it? I'll tell you in a second. She released a record of 4-track demos. It was called that in the early 90s as its own record, but it was just another edition of her second album. I'll show you in a second. So now, not only did she reissue the 4-track demos, but she's reissuing a record of demos to go along with each reissue of the record. So every record gets its own record separate with demos. I'll show you what I'm talking about, because it's nuts and it's amazing. Now, what I love about these is, as I said, is the sound. They've been incredible, well done. Here we have Dry and the Dry demos. Amazingly done. Yes, Rid of Me and the 4-track demos, which this was released early in the 90s, and it's actually just the demos for Rid of Me. PJ Harvey, killing it. This is alternative rock, right? But coming from a singer-songwriter perspective, like angsty, but really good. She was intense and good. Good songs. These are great. I went for all of them because I only had one. Me and my wife, big time PJ Harvey fans, we had all the CDs and one record previous to this. So, To Bring You My Love, a fan favorite, I think, and the demos to go along with it. Awesome. And you know what also was impressive about these? They were all released on time. Like, the release dates didn't get bumped back. Somehow she was able to navigate the pandemic and the shortage of vinyl and inventory issues. Here we have Stories from the City, Stories from the Sea, and the demos to that. I went for all these things. Peel Sessions from 91 to 2004. They reissued that too. So, obviously not a demo to go along with that, but yeah, I've been hitting all these, and I've listened to all of them. Is This Desire and the Demos? This is originally from 98. All sounding amazing. What do we have next? Her. This one I knew pretty well at the time and holds up very well. These all hold up well. Her demos. She doesn't have a weak record either. That's the other thing. That's why I was like, I'm going all in. And they all came out within a couple of months of each other. Here's the one record I have an original of and I bought at the time. Dry. I'm sorry, not Dry. White Chalk. So this is the original on the Control Group label in the US here. This is a US pressing. And I did buy the White Chalk demos. So they reissued White Chalk. I just didn't buy that one because I had it, but I got the White Chalk demos. Not to mention they also did reissues of her work with John Parrish. So I got those too. 2 records from John Parrish and PJ Harvey. Originally from, I think 2096 and 2009 actually. So PJ Harvey, huge kudos to you for not only thankfully putting her records back out because they needed to be, and by the way, they were able to make enough of them, keep them in print and in stock. A lot of these, you're able to get and then replenish them. They've been available. So that's awesome. So, and doing a great job on the vinyl. They're all beautiful pressings. They look good. They sound good. Kudos to you, PJ Harvey. And the last campaign I'll mention, we'll get this video done, is the Analog Africa label and the continual stream of wonderful records they put out. This year, I think they did 4. I only have 3 from this year. I think I missed the Manzanita record, but they just did this Esibon from Ghana, Cameroon Garage Funk. And this one came before that, Edo Funk Explosion. And then La Locura de Machuca. This one I think came at the end of 2020, as well as this one, Hallelujah Chicken Run Band, Take One. This is actually one of their earliest compilations, but was never on vinyl until now. So yeah, these two I think actually came in 2020, but Analog Africa, produced and sort of helmed by Sami Ben Rajib, I believe is his name, going to these places, sort of digging in, getting the proper sort of presentation and really doing the hard work to find these records, trying to pay the artists, presenting all of them with amazing booklets, fantastic sound. These Analog Africas, I can't recommend them enough. I know Mazzy, Steve Carlson, you guys have all brought these up. These are just no-brainers when you see them. I have some of the other stuff that's like South American, Peruvian. Was it Peruvian or Brazilian? There's a Brazilian one. I've been getting some of the Latin influenced ones, as I've shown you with the La Machuca. But I just wanted to bring up, for my take, just this year, 2021, in the Analog Africa label, really killing it. So I hope there's more excellent ones to come, and I'm sure there will be. That's just some of my thoughts for 2021. I didn't want to go into a whole countdown. I might do my favorite finds of the year, but I'll probably do that in 2022. Maybe the first part of 2022. But stay tuned for more of my psychedelic countdown, the Psychedelic 100. That's this one. Hope you enjoyed. Hope everyone's well out there and being safe and being sound. I will speak with you below and elsewhere. Take care.